It's not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. They say the truth is just that which is right in front of you. A very good morning, viewers. Hope you are all doing great. Welcome to Kings TV, and this is Morning Zoo Show, your favorite morning show where we make sense of the news that actually matters to you. And as I always say, the best way to get to know what's going on around the world, in your country, and also in your neighborhood, is just to read the newspaper. And since we understand that it's not all of us who is able to afford or access the newspaper, we've decided to bring it at the comfort of your couch, just to help you start your day informed, inspired, and ready to go. And on today's top stories, having the Daily Nation, the Standards, the People's Daily, and the Taifa Leo. Just briefing on the Daily Nation. As you see on the cover page, it's written on John's death fury. This the story is about those protesters who were protesting yesterday and they were angry on the death of Ojwang, who is believed to be murdered. And on the Standards, we see it's written fury against Lagat. Still, the protesters who are very angry against Lagat. And we're going to talk about it on the Studio B. So you join me as I go to Studio B and join my colleagues. Once again, as you see in Studio B, I'm having my colleagues here. One who is our news anchor, Mr. Pius Karaoke, a very gentleman who's full of engaging conversation. You're welcome. And Frida Kahiga, a very joyful lady, our news reporter. So stay tuned as we start our magazine, our newspaper. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms at Facebook Kings TV, YouTube Kings Fraternity, and TikTok Kings TV _13. Stay tuned. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
So today I'm having the Standards, and I see on the cover pages against Lagat. Yeah.
And I'll be taking you through the Daily Nation. It's also about Ojwang death fury.
Niko na Taifa Leo, pressure kwa Lagat.
Pressure kwa Lagat. So yesterday kulikuwa na mchemko huko Nairobi, and on my cover page when you imeandikwa to fury against Lagat, kama kawaida to fury is the anger when the protesters walikuwa na hasira. Unaweza ona hasira imeleta hadi moto. On the cover page unaona hapa magari zimechomwa. Protesters wanajaribu to argue with the police, and it's written, a budget day is meant to charge a nation's future, but in Kenya the past came roaring back. Protesters overran the street, demanding the immediate arrest of Deputy IG Eliud Lagat over the brutal killing of Albert Ojwang. So I think niyo tu asira walikuwa nataka Lagat step out.
But you know what Kenyans are asking themselves? Lagat is quiet, agitate. That one also raises a lot of questions, because he's not coming to the timeline to tell people this and this and this. He's quiet. You know, quiet means a lot. And they say quiet means yes. It means he did it. You know. And again, Kenyans should not run into conclusions saying it is Lagat. Let's wait for the conclusion, because we have seen the process is still going on. Even they still went ahead to the Senate, the Inspector General of Police, that is Kanja, together with Mohamed Amin, mkuu wa DCI, na vile vile the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Interior, that is Kipchumba Murkomen. Let the investigation be done. That is what I can tell the Kenyans. We wait for the investigation instead of us going to the streets. You know, going to the streets, it's also bring other things, because jana tuliona many people are injured, and also police hawataki kujua. You know, it's also bring up other issues of other people to be injured. Na bado tukicheza, we will still go back to last year, losing a lot of people and shedding blood.
Na tukiwa hapo kwa Taifa Leo, pressure kwa Lagat, inaonekana they are the Gen Z wenye walikuwa wanaleta hiyo maandamano, and they were not happy because unapata like walikuwa wamesema if there is no justice kwa huyu kwa Ojwang, there is no budget. Walikuwa wanasema no justice, no budget.
But you know what, Beatrice? I don't have problem of the Gen Zs going to express their gratitude and want it. Yes, of course, all of us want justice for the family, and we want justice for Ojwang. But one problem is the Gen Zs are going to have the protest in peaceful, but again there are those goons. Hao ndo wanakuja wanaharibu. I know the Gen Zs, they have a great pleasure to ensure that Ojwang finds the justice. But again, watu ambao wanaharibu ni goons, because when the protest is going on, inside the protest they are having those goons. Wenye hatujuangi ni nani huwa anawatuma, you know. So this one raises a lot of questions and a lot of issues. Again, we will see then people shedding blood, we will see people dying, and whom will they blame? The police officers.
Exactly. But the worst part of it is that those goons when wanaonekana kwa protest yesterday walikuwa na hizo harmful gadgets ama harmful objects walikuwa wanatumia, but walijoin the police. Walijoin the police kufukuza the protesters, meaning the police walikuwa na entertain. Yeah, the fact that walikuwa na entertain pia bado ina raise questions kwa sababu wangefukuzwa awange take any action. So the person who paid them is pia bado kwa court. We don't know the person mwenye aliwatuma na kwa hiyo authority ya kwenda na hizo tunakuwa beba. And see the story here inapatikana page 2, 3, 4, 6 and 7. It's a huge story. And on the cover page bado tunaona protesters walikuwa wana protest na gazeti ya jana ya The Standard. The cover page ilikuwa imeandikwa kila squad boss. Meaning bado wanaamini tu ni mtu Lagat.
And you know the sad thing is, that's why I told you, these people have very hurtful. The Gen Zs, they are very wako sure, yani they want justice for Ojwang. But again, the goons, there were 3 cars that were burned. We don't know the owners of the car, how they are feeling. Maybe it is one of those people doing the Uber, the Bolt, you know, they are doing that job, and then your car just, yani unaamka asubuhi unapata gari yako imeharibiwa, imechomeka, you know. So this calls upon again the government to come in and ensure we have a peaceful protest. Lakini hii ni Kenya, remember, and that's why in the morning I had one of the person asking, or many people are asking themselves, will Kenya have a peaceful protest? Will we reach at a point that we just have a maandamano and iko peaceful, no fighting, and nothing is going on that we shed blood and going ahead karibu vitu.
But you know, mimi nikifikiria, I think tu siku moja tu hapo polisi wanafaa tukukaa tu mahali watulie tu hapo wakae tu kwa police station tu waangalie venye jinsi wana protest from morning ama wape tu like almost like 5 hours wafanye tu protest yao. Tuone kama hizi zote zitafikia. Because walikuja na hizo water cannons and you know wanakuja na water cannons, lazima like mimi siwezi kuja ni protest peacefully ukuje na fujo because mimi siko na aim ya kuwa na any fujo. Ukuje na fujo siwezi kaa hapo kimalenge, lazima pia mimi nijiprotect. So the act that wao wenyewe wanajiprotect, the police ndio wanakuja na fujo, ndio inaleta hizi shida zote.
Lakini you know how Gen Z wakiprotest walikuwa wanasema they are very peaceful. Sijui what happened then, unapata watu they are injured, wengine wanakufa.
It's there are those goons when you have to do it, nani anawatuma, the reason, you know. But again, remember, Beatrice, these people will go out and protest. They will seek for the justice. I know all over the country they are saying justice for Ojwang, justice for Ojwang. But remember, this is the Kenya that we are living. I remember a few months ago we had a case of this MP that was killed. Hiyo kesi ilienda ikanyamaza. We saw that those people who walishikwa, wale walihusika, but we don't know where they were taken. You know, hatujui hatua gani ilichukuliwa. Walituonyesha tu wameshikwa, but we don't know from there what happened. So it also raises a lot of questions in Kenya. It's time that Kenya ifike mahali kuna kwanga na kakesi kakitokea hivi and all of a sudden it is imenyamaza hivyo. So yes, people are protesting that we find justice for Ojwang, but in few months to come utasikia tu hii kesi imenyamaza hivyo. We don't know if the justice will prevail. We don't know if this Lagat will be taking action, you know, sort of a thing. So
but
this is the
those who are protesting wamesema this time round hawatanyamaza mpaka wakati watapata haki. Yeah. So we don't know whether watachoka ama hawatachoka.
Okay, on Daily Nation, it's also talking of Ojwang death fury. Yani people are very angry with what is happening, and they said pandemonium, the murder of Albert Ojwang in police custody, snowballed into a national security nightmare yesterday with Nairobi City Center plunged into an orgy of violence. The violent protest that saw some people injured and vehicles torched coincided with the morning appearance in Parliament by security chiefs and overshadowed Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi's maiden budget speech in the afternoon. And that story will see it on page 2, 3, 4, and 5. And also, according in my views, you know, when protest is going on, it means that most of the people who are working wanna work with that fear, because police wakikimbiza watu kwa barabara. You know, in Nairobi many people are selling along the highways, along the roads. You know, it's also affecting people who are going to sell. Kuna mama pale ametoka nyumbani akiwa na moyo ya kujua in the evening I will go back with 300, 500, 1000. But again, when this protest will go on, it will make a lot of people to lose their jobs. Others will hawatakuwa na kitu cha kupelekea familia. So we call upon the government, let the justice be very fast, so that everything will just go back to normal.
Exactly, but the problem with the government, your justice kupatikana ndio itakuwa shida. Kwa sababu like the business people, like tunaambiwa kama kuna protest wanafunga business, wanakaa nyumbani ama wana join the protesters. It's better ufunge duka yako ikae safe, kwa sababu ukiacha kwa wazi the goods are there na si wote protesters wote wako na aim ya ku protest for justice.
But at least we have hope, because we saw our president on Wednesday in the State House. He talked about that, and he said nobody is above the law. If new askari alipatikana na hii makosa, then he has to be taken action. So we are just waiting and see what will happen. And on page 3, Daily Nation, as they said that yesterday's protest is affected the budget. You know, the budget was to be ready yesterday, but again it went on. But kila kitu jana, yesterday it had a lot of activities.
Tunaambiwa like kama mtu anaenda kusoma the first budget kuna ikuwa sherehe. So the sherehe haikuwa kwenye inafaa.
By the way, it was the first time for John Bandi to read the budget since he entered into that seat of cabinet secretary for the Ministry of Finance. And sasa mwaka yake imemwanzia hivyo na mashida. But again, it happened.
But still in irony, kwa sababu ndani walikari hiyo sherehe ndani ya the parliament. But nje watu wanalia haki yetu, watu wanaumizwa nje na budget bado inasomwa. Like despite watu kulilia haki na whatever, you push like I were bound kufanya kazi yao. Bado ni irony too, like the government wanafaa kuconsider sana.
Ikiwa hapo kwa Taifa Leo, pia wameguza hiyo story ya budget. Wanasema Waziri Badi asoma bajeti ya kupapasa. Na ni ukweli ukiangalia ilikuwa ni ya kupapasa, juu unapata kuna sekta zingine walideduct kama sekta ya health and education. And you know, hapo kitambo the education ilikuwa free, unapata like wanafunzi hawalipi exam, but now walisema the parent watakuwa wanalipia wanafunzi mtihani.
Ilisemekana the middle and the high class parents watakuwa wanajilipia. So and the middle kuacha any parent mwenye anafanya kazi na kazi bado sahi mshahara ikuji vizuri. So imagine you have to pay ile exam yenye government ndio inalipa. And sasa juu ya maisha ya sasa hivi imekuwa mbaya, you have to pay it, you have to pay fee, you have to buy uniforms and do everything.
I think that story it's in page 10 on the Standard.
Yeah.
And the most thing that has raised questions, they have deducted the health, program, education, but again the office of the president and the state house has been increased. You know, it raises a lot of questions.
Exactly.
Zile departments they are so critical, they are being deducted, even the judiciary. But again, the office of the president and the state house, how is it helping Kenyans? You know, that again raises a lot of questions. In that budget, they have increased the deputy, the president's office and the state house.
No, tunaambiwa hapa hard times ahead as more critical sectors faces a reduction in funding. So education a reduction, health reduction. So like na watu nini security wakipewa hizo pesa, security bado inasambaratika, inakuwa mbaya.
And this you will just see this year, it will lead to and it will result to teachers striking on the roads. Tutaona walimu wakistrike, and kidogo we see the medical officers, they are striking because they don't have money. And I don't know why they should increase the money or the budget to the office of the president and the state house. Yet on health we have many things and many issues about SHA and all of and everything, you know.
Na ndio maana hata watu wakiandamana, but hadi unajua jana hiyo protest, like hiyo budget reading, I'm sure 40% ya Wakenya ndio walifuatilia, but the 60% akili iko tu kwa the protest, ujuanga justice and also on hizo vitu zingine, kwa sababu how comes watu na even though the budget ilikuwa isomwe the same day, but they could have find a better solution ya reduce hiyo protest, kwa sababu hata sasa budget ilisomwa tu, lakini watu wanaofuatilia hiyo budget ni watu kidogo sana.
And Gen Z, unajua sasa Gen Z they are concentrating with the Ojwang justice. Kama hiyo Ojwang justice ingekuwa Gen Z bado wangerudi barabara like last year, because that one is not good. Increasing the budget of the office of the president, how is it helping us in the state house? Yet the health is inasambaratika, education inasambaratika, you know. It means that the government, they are not putting education and health the first priorities.
Hapa on page 18 tunaambiwa inflation, interest rate headwinds in budget plan experts. Na tunaambiwa like hiyo budget yenye ilisomwa, mimi kitambo nilikuwa nikifikiria budget ikisomwa inasomwa kama pesa already iko. So wakisema education 5 point, health 2 point, ni kitu inasemwa hivyo kama imewekwa. But kumbe ni opposite. Tunaambiwa hapa 5.3% expected growth of the economy in the 2025-2026 financial year. 176.1 billion expected to improve revenue collection from economic growth of 5.3%, with growth in the income tax, excise duty and value added tax. 4.7% economic growth in 2024 against forecast of 5.3%. This grew the country's normal GDP in 16.2 trillion, 2.7 trillion what the government plans to raise in ordinary revenue to finance the 4.2 trillion shilling budget. Tunaambiwa kulingana na hizi pesa, hii budget yenye imeletwa hii pesa yote, na itabidi sasa tena wakope juu budget iko high na pesa yenye iko kidogo. Sasa itabidi tena watu warudi wakikopa.
And that will lead again to our country going ahead of, you know, borrowing money from other countries. Na tunabaki tu Kenya kuomba, nothing else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, wakideduct hiyo sekta ya health education, Wakenya ndo watasafa juu. Utapata like kama hospitali, pesa hakuna ya kubai madawa, and they will suffer.
And that's why like on the yesterday's magazine tuliambiwa winners and losers. So hao wenye wamepewa pesa mzuri, like the budget side yao imependelewa, they are the winners, na sisi tunabaki kuwa losers kwa sababu education iko low. The parents when wanafanya kazi, they'll have to pay for their students for the exams. So i budget although wanasema iko sawa, but kuna vile imeegemea pande moja.
Ninakwambia na saa hii Gen Z are concentrating first on Ojwang. Kama si Ojwang, hii mambo ya Ojwang, bado tungeona kwa barabara protesting against the budget.
Exactly.
Vile sasa hivi are concentrating with the Ojwang's case for him to find justice. On page 23, the Daily Nation, they are saying more than 200 killed as Air India plane crashes soon after takeoff. And there is a picture there, it's so sad. A view of the rear of an Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner plane following its crash in Ahmedabad, India yesterday. And more than 200 people were killed.
More than 200. And on today's updates zikiendelea, tunaambiwa there is only one person who survived. Alikuwa a British person. Na anasema the plane crash it happened just 33 seconds after it may take off. Na the worst part tunaambiwa ilianguka juu ya hostel ya boys. Yeah. The building actually imeleta maafa juu wenye walikuwa hapo ndani wameumia, ndio kuna wengine wamefunikwa hawajapatikana. But mimi niliona hiyo video, watu walikuwa wamechomeka, people were ashes, like hadi huwezi jua ni mtu, nashangaa ni mtu ambaye ni chuma. It was very painful. Na maybe ni kama hiyo ndege ilikuwa engine yake ilikuwa imeharibika. Yeah. That inaleta fear kwa watu wanatumia ndege.
On Taifa Leo, tunaona madarari wamezea helikopta na magari ya mbunge Barasa. Huenda helikopta na magari 6 yanayomilikiwa na mbunge wa Kimilili Barasa yakapigwa mnanda kutokana na deni la shilingi milioni 4.4. Iko ukurasa wa 4 kwa Taifa Leo.
That is my MP from my home, Kimilili. Yeah.
It's your home.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see also the stories here on page 28. London-bound plane crashes in India with 242 people on board. But imagine plane crash huwa ikifanyika inakonga na only like watu wanaisha wote. Na imagine one person surviving. You need grace.
Yeah.
Totally grace. And to make it at least joyful, he's able to talk. At least anaweza ongea, anaweza narrate what happened. Anasema just in 33 seconds before plane imeanza kumiandamiana kwa hewa. Yeah. Today's sports, tunaambiwa 5 of the stars missing at the Club World Cup. Missing how?
You know us in sports, I don't know Frida. Us in sports we are somehow
We are somehow low.
Yeah, we are somehow dandas.
Same to me, I'm a kinda but not that danda. Tunaambiwa athletic stars fall by the wayside. But I think ukisema for the experts or sports wanajua wataelewa what's going on, where the missing people are going. And tunaambiwa 29 Mohamed Salah goals last season. I think hiyo ni Liverpool. 40, Cristiano Ronaldo age. Cristiano Ronaldo amefika 40 years. Unajua Cristiano Ronaldo?
I just hears of that name, but I think I know him.
Amegonga 40. Sasa miaka inaenda. Sasa lete Junior Ronaldo ama Junior Cristiano. Tucheze hapo.
Right. And on my side on page 35, it's talk about athletics. US-based Kenyan athlete wins 10,000 meters final at NCAA championships in Oregon. Gwiji wetu kule US alishinda the 10,000 meters. That is Ishmael Kiprui. Najua Kenya wetu bado wanaendelea kubombea.
On business tunaambiwa still bado business tukiguzia mambo ya budget. Tunaambiwa mchele imepunguzwa bei, ngano imepunguzwa bei. So watu wa mchele msitufinyilie sana. Tukikuja kununua mchele ya 20 bob at least tutapata. Siku 25 juu budget imepunguza bei ya mchele.
I think on my side, we have covered all the stories.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any story. But again, today the major stories were of Anjoang and the budget yesterday. But one thing I will urge the Kenyans, if you are protesting, please, the thing is, Kenyans are protesting with peace and Gen Z's hawana shida. But again, those goods, sasa hao goods ndio tuna shida na wao. Wanaharibu the protest.
But shida mimi siwezi blame the goods. Unajua Kenya wanasema pesa inaongea. Na mtu ukipata mtu wako idol, ultimu unakuanga idol. Nikupe like 50,000 kwambie go do this. Utaenda ufanye kwa sababu ya pesa. So maybe let's say those people who are giving the goods the authority to go to do hizo vitu wanafanya kwa street, and also you tunafaa kublame, of which it's so bad. And ningependa tu echo the Kenyans wenye wana protest. It's a good thing wameonyesha ile unity, and it's good that wameonyesha they can do anything just to have the justice that they want. But hizi mambo ikitokea tukiona vitu zinaharibika, it's also the other bad side of it. Na tunaambiwa anything that has positive side lazima kuwe na negative side. Yeah, so let's just pray for our country. Kila kitu tuko tu sawa, but not our country. Let's pray for our leaders kwa sababu hao ndo viongozi. Na kichwa kienda huko ndio sisi njua country ni kama kondoo sasa. Kondoo mkubwa akikata kichwa nzima itakatika kichwa, si ndio? Yeah. So let's pray for our leaders, at least wa lead in the best way that's expected. And at least sasa tukibishana na countries zingine wasipate ile kitu ya kutu eka nayo chini. At least to be the best country that we are, as developed as we are. Let's stay that way. Yeah.
Alright.
So as we finish, maybe tumanilaka ya mwisho tukimalizia.
Thank you, viewers. My name is Frida Kahigo.
And you?
Alright. I'll just urge Kenyans to continue having the peace. You know, peace is everything. And today, kuna fununu bado the Gen Zs are going back to the streets to protest. What I'll urge is that let's protest in peace, and those goons, those who are sending the goons, please, mnatuharibia Kenya. You know, I had a person saying that herivo to Tanzania walinyamaza because they are fearing us now. Tunaogopa hadi na other countries because of what is happening. So my name is Pius Kariuki, and thank you so much for inviting us.
Welcome. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook Kings TV, YouTube Kings Fraternity, and TikTok Kings TV _13. And on behalf of Kings Fraternity, we send our condolences to those who lost their lives in the plane crash. Yeah, those who lost their families, their loved ones, our condolences. Till next time.